Okay, I will handle Cikgu Mariam immediately. Cikgu Mariam, come to my office now.
Roleplays, context, and scenario script. The story follows Cikgu Mariam, a teacher overwhelmed by instrumental needs, especially grading 200 paper and organizing a school event. Under heavy pressure from her boss and college, she failed to address a bullying incident in her classroom, leading to a crisis involving parents and the Ministry of Education.
Hello everyone. Next, I will explain the role of Puan Zainab, the head mistress, from the perspective of communication theory. Puan Zainab represents a high power distance leadership style, where authority is highly respected and communication mainly flows from top to down. Instead of supporting her teachers emotionally, she focused on protecting the school image and achieving measurable results. As shown in this slide, her behavior demonstrates aggressive downwards communication. She gives instruction and expects compliance by providing little opportunity for staff to express their concern. Because of this leadership style, Cikgu Mariam feels unable to openly discuss her stress and workload. This creates a workplace culture where employees remain silent, feedback is discouraged, and important issues are hidden until they become serious problems.
Role to Cikgu Mariam. Cikgu Mariam is our central figure. Her character illustrates a breakdown in communication competence. Driven by the fear of her boss, she focused entirely on instrumental needs tasks and neglected the rational needs of her student. This conflict creates the primary ethical fail of the story.
Hi, I played Cikgu Sarah. Her role illustrates the lateral communication among the peers. Sarah lacks of self-awareness and pressure Mariam to meet her identity needs as a team player for the school sports day. This generates excessive lateral noise, further overwhelming Mariam's cognitive loads and also distracting her from her critical relational duties.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is Haida Afika and I would play the role of Aisha. The role of Aisha represents the ignore relational dimension, where her verbal plea for help was dismissed as a small problem.
Hi everyone, I'm Fatin and I play role as a Nabila, the bully. Nabila used non-verbal communications such as glares and whispering to maintain power. Together, they show how social status and implicit rules influence classroom dynamics.
Issue 1. The ethical dilemma. The core ethical dilemma is the conflict between professional performance target and ethical responsibility. In our roleplay, the pressure to maintain school ranking led to choice where human safety was sacrificed for result, violating the principle of treating people fairly and honestly.
The second communication issue is the difference between the content dimension and the relational dimension of a message. The iceberg in this slide illustrates this concept clearly. The visible tip represents the content dimension, which is the explicit information. In this case, Mariam only focuses on the grading 200 papers and prepare for sport days. However, beneath the surface is the much larger relational dimension. This represents Aisha's emotional message, her cry for help, as well as Mariam's own emotional exhaustion and burnout. Because Mariam is overwhelmed with her workload, she only hears the task-related information and fails to recognize Aisha's emotional needs. As a result, the student's request for help is ignored, leading to a communication failure with serious consequences. The third issue is the relationship between high power distance and communication noise. On the left side of the slide, we can see Mariam experiencing instrumental overload. She is surrounded by excessive paperwork, responsibilities, and deadlines. This creates psychological stress that prevents her from processing information effectively. At the same time, the high power distance culture makes her afraid to speak honestly about her workload to Puan Zainab. This fear becomes a form of psychological noise that interferes with effective communication. As shown in the right side of the slide, this communication breakdown results in relational collapse. Mariam unintentionally ignores Aisha's plea for help, allowing the bullying situation to worsen until it becomes a formal Ministry of Education case. This shows how organizational culture and communication barriers can directly influence decision-making and ultimately affect student safety.
Our first suggestion is for leadership to practice empathy and emotional intelligence. Puan Zainab needs the skill of identifying and feeling what her subordinates feel. By understanding Mariam's stress, she could have provided support instead of just demanding results, preventing the eventual neglect. Second, the school must build credibility through trust and rapport. Credible leaders use active listening to understand their staff. If Puan Zainab had built a supportive communication network, Mariam would have felt safe reporting the bullying incident earlier rather than hiding it to avoid trouble.
Our third solution target individual communicators like Cikgu Mariam. She needs to achieve the cognitive flexibility, which is the ability to understand a situation in multiple ways. This would allow her to instantly switch from a task mode, which is a routine grading, to a mediator mode where crisis intervention is needed when a student is in danger. Well, in conclusion, we have learned that competent communication requires a balance of professional tasks and ethical awareness. We must always put people first. Our group faced the challenge with the remote synchronization and emotional realism. But by linking these two theories like meta-communication, we have gained a deeper understanding of professional ethics. Thank you.